From your local weather authority, this is your forecast first.
Good evening, everyone. A nice night going across the valley. We have a few clouds drifting through. That's really about it. Here's what it looks like with our Great Post building cam on the south side, looking south out of Terre Haute, and there's no trouble with the weather whatsoever. Temperatures are nice and pleasant, pretty much in the low 70s all across the area. There's the satellite and the radar. A few clouds have been drifting through, but that's it. We're all clean on the Dorset Automotive Doppler radar. Forecast overnight, temperatures dropping into the 60s. Could see rain for part of the weekend, believe it or not. We'll talk more about that here in just a little bit.
Your news now. This is WTWO News at 11.
We need to make sure that we are talking about parental leave. We need to make sure that we have in place Medicaid coverage.
State law in Indiana could soon change as lawmakers prepare to return for a special session. It will partially look at abortion. We'll hear from state lawmakers in just a few minutes.
The quality of life projects, they're not just great, they're transformational.
And a new walking trail in Sullivan could be the start of more economic development for that city. Well, thanks for watching our late news. I'm Dana Winklepleck. Mike Tank has the night off. Today, the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, removing a constitutionally protected right to an abortion. The ruling came after the justices heard a challenge to a new law that was passed in Mississippi that bans abortions after 15 weeks. In a 6-3 vote, the court voted to uphold Mississippi's law. And then in a 5-4 vote, the court voted to overturn Roe v. Wade. The court's ruling does not make abortion illegal, but since it's no longer deemed a constitutional right, states can now ban it. About half of states have already indicated a willingness to do so. 13 states have what's known as trigger laws in place. They took effect after today's Supreme Court ruling. And after that ruling, President Biden addressed the nation. He talked about the impact the ruling will have on women's reproductive rights.
Today, the Supreme Court of the United States expressly took away a constitutional right from the American people that it had already recognized. They didn't limit it, they simply took it away. That's never been done to a right so important to so many Americans, but they did it.
And following the decision, a group of people gathered outside the Vigo County Courthouse to protest. They made signs for drivers to see as they passed by the courthouse. Carolyn Heath was one of the people protesting today. She shared how she's feeling after the court's decision.
We're second-class citizens now. You know, we don't have rights to our body. Our body autonomy is being taken away. Make your voice heard, have uncomfortable conversations. It's just really important that we're communicating how devastating this is.
And she says she expects to protest this ruling again tomorrow. Indiana lawmakers could pass new limits on abortion as soon as next month. As we mentioned, they will meet in special session on July 6th. They're expected to discuss abortion. Kristen Eskow tells us what's next for Indiana.
Lawmakers will be back here at the State House in less than 2 weeks. Governor Eric Holcomb had called for a special session on July 6th so lawmakers could work on inflation relief, but now he says they'll also discuss abortion.
Following the Supreme Court's ruling to overturn Roe v. Wade, Indiana lawmakers could pass new limits on abortion as soon as next month. Earlier this year, 100 Republican lawmakers, or 2/3 of the Indiana legislature, asked Governor Eric Holcomb for a special session on abortion if the court allows states to choose their own abortion laws. State House Democrats say they're concerned about the potential consequences for some pregnant women.
They are more likely to go into poverty or stay in poverty. Their children will more likely be in poverty.
In the months leading up to Friday's ruling, Governor Eric Holcomb and Republican legislative leaders have declined to say whether they want to pass a total abortion ban or allow certain exceptions, such as cases of rape, incest, or risk to the mother's life. They did not provide interviews Friday, nor specifics about their plans. Holcomb said in a statement in part, quote, "I have been clear in stating I am pro-life. We have an opportunity to make progress in protecting the sanctity of life, and that's exactly what we will do. House Speaker Todd Houston echoed those thoughts in his statement, adding, quote, "While it's too early to speculate on what form legislation may take, I strongly believe we'll couple any action with expanding resources and services to support pregnant mothers and care for their babies before and after birth." Democrats argue there are many services and policies lawmakers need to consider to support mothers.
We need to make sure that we are talking about parental leave. We need to make sure that we have in place Medicaid coverage.
It's not entirely clear exactly how quickly lawmakers could pass new abortion limits. The special session is scheduled for July 6th, but it could take some more time beyond that for lawmakers to pass a bill. The House Speaker says lawmakers will have committee hearings and collect public testimony as they do for any other bill that moves forward. At the State House, I'm Kristen Escow.
And across the state line, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says the right to safe and accessible reproductive health care will remain in his state. He's also calling the General Assembly into a special session in the coming weeks.
Privacy rights are being eviscerated right before our very eyes. If they can take away your ability to control your own body, there's not much that stops them from making marriage equality illegal and taking away employment protections for your beliefs or your orientation.
Illinois has seen an influx of patients traveling to that state to seek reproductive care in recent years. That trend is expected to grow as more women seek procedures that may not be available in their state. Well, vandalism hits the city of Clinton. Less than a day after a few veterans displays were completed, residents woke up to banners torn down, broken brackets, and shards of glass on streets. The incident happened from Pike Street to Maryland Street. The project is thanks to the We Honor Vets program. It's a national organization sponsored by the Veterans Administration and a hospice organization. Through this initiative, families can request a veteran's name, picture, and branch of service be displayed on a locally made sign. The banners are still in good condition and they have already been rehung, but some fear this may not be a one-time incident.
It does worry me that vandalism will occur again. 150 families, all they wanted to do was show some pride and respect for their service members, family members who were in the service.
And if you do have information on this case, you're asked to call the Clinton Police Department. A juvenile hurt in a crash involving an ATV in Park County happened Thursday on County Road 200 North. According to the Park County Sheriff's Office, a juvenile was riding an ATV, swerved to miss a deer. The Sheriff's Office says the juvenile was taken to a hospital with a serious injury. The city of Sullivan welcomes the new Lovers Lane Loop to town. This new walking trail could be the start of more economic development for the city. Terry Craig, he caught up with Sullivan officials and asked what residents and visitors can look forward to in the future. Terry.
A ribbon cutting for the Lovers Lane Loop takes place just one day after Ready Grant funds were awarded to multiple projects in the city. The city of Sullivan unveils its Lovers Lane Loop. The new walking trail is expected to increase the walkability around town and connect the Sullivan County Library to downtown.
Connectivity is everything, connecting citizens to city government, connecting neighbors, and now literally physically connecting our community. We're not recreating the city of Sullivan, we're revitalizing it.
Lovers Lane is only the start of more economic development in Sullivan. Thanks to newly awarded Ready Grant funds, even more economic development is on the way.
The only way you're going to grow the state of Indiana is to grow it city by city, town by town, community by community. And the way you do that is build your community. So the quality of life projects, they're not just great, they're transformational.
Over $4 million of Ready funds will help benefit Central Plaza, the City Pool, and Sullivan housing and hotel projects. Mayor Clint Lamb says that these projects will help bring more people into the Sullivan community.
All aspects of the city are continuing to grow as we continue to chase our #1 asset, and that's the people of our community, right? Whether that's retaining or there's attracting, that's what we're doing.
Alyssa's Custom Cakes and Treats employee Peyton Fulford has had a first-hand look at all the development in the community. Fulford says it's exciting to know that more people could be coming to Sullivan.
It's a great thing, especially for small businesses, because, I mean, you know, we get the support from the people around the community and the people just stopping in, because they say, hey, Sullivan's a great place to be. So when they stop by, we get, you know, the money from that.
Those Ready Grant funds must be spent by the end of 2026.
All right, thanks so much. It is a nice trail. Checked it out myself today. Well, thank you, Terry. Well, Indiana State University receives $1 million for its Early Childhood Education Center, also part of that state Ready Grant funding that was awarded to West Central Indiana. The Wabash River Regional Development Authority announced the local projects receiving funding on Thursday. ISU says the money will be used to renovate the Chestnut building. The goal is to increase capacity and opportunities at its Early Childhood Education Center. The project is a partnership with the Vigo County School Corporation. The FDA has recently banned the sale of Juul electronic cigarettes. Coming up, we'll hear from health experts in our area about that legislation. And the Stanley Cup final wrapping up in Denver. Omar has an update on Game 5 in just a bit.
Your news now on WTWO.